In the quiet suburbs of Indianapolis, behind the gates of a sprawling 18-acre estate, one of the most chilling serial killer stories in American history unfolded. This is the story of Herb Baumeister and the horrifying discoveries at Fox Hollow Farm. Herbert Richard Baumeister seemed like the picture of success. Born in 1947 in Indiana, he was a married father of three and a successful businessman, owning the Save-A-Lot thrift store chain. But behind his respectable facade, dark urges lurked. Baumeister's early years hinted at something troubling. As a child, he exhibited odd behavior, playing with dead animals, urinating on a teacher's desk. Later, as an adult, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia but never sought proper treatment. His odd behaviors continued into adulthood, and despite his financial success, he remained distant and erratic. Herb struggled with his mental health and often displayed unpredictable moods. Despite this, he managed to marry Julie Baumeister in 1971. Together, they built a family, but their marriage was far from normal. Julie would later recall that their relationship was almost completely devoid of intimacy. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, young men began vanishing from Indianapolis. Many were last seen at gay bars, but with little evidence, the cases went cold. It wasn't until a private investigator, Virgil Vandegrift, began connecting the dots that a pattern emerged. Vandegrift, a retired sheriff's deputy turned private investigator, was hired by the families of missing young men. He quickly realized that many of the victims fit a similar profile. Young, attractive men who frequented Indianapolis gay clubs. One of these missing men was Jeff Jones. His disappearance in 1993 caught the attention of authorities, and soon, more names emerged. Roger Goodlett, Richard Hamilton, and others. Vandegrift's findings alarmed local police, but without physical evidence, their investigation stalled. In 1994, police received a break. A man named Tony Harris, who had survived an encounter with Baumeister, came forward. He described being lured to Fox Hollow Farm, where Baumeister engaged in erotic asphyxiation. Fearing for his life, Tony escaped. With Tony's testimony, police sought a search warrant, but Herb's wife, Julie, initially refused. It wasn't until she grew suspicious and discovered bones on their property in 1996 that she contacted authorities. Julie had lived at Fox Hollow Farm for years, but had never ventured into certain areas of the property. One day, her son found a human skull near the woods. Disturbed, she finally allowed police to search the estate. What they uncovered was beyond comprehension. On June 24, 1996, police searched Fox Hollow Farm. What they found was beyond comprehension. Hundreds of bone fragments scattered in the woods behind the house. Forensic analysis confirmed they belonged to at least 11 victims. The way the bones were disposed of suggested a disturbing ritual. Many of them had been burned or crushed. It was clear that Baumeister had lured men to his home, strangled them, and disposed of their bodies just steps away from where his family lived. The sheer brutality of his crimes shocked even the most seasoned detectives. As authorities closed in, Baumeister fled to Canada. On July 3, 1996, he was found dead in his car at a park in Ontario. A single gunshot wound to the head, an apparent suicide. In his note, he mentioned business troubles, but never admitted to the murders. Even in death, Baumeister left unanswered questions. How many victims were there? Could he have been the I-70 Strangler, a serial killer who targeted men along the interstate in the 1980s? Investigators believe he may have killed as many as 20 people, possibly more. Though Baumeister was linked to 11 deaths at Fox Hollow Farm, authorities believe he may have been responsible for many more. Some speculate he was the elusive I-70 Strangler, a serial killer targeting young men along the interstate in the 1980s. His travels, victim profile, and methodology bear a striking resemblance to those unsolved cases. Fox Hollow Farm remains infamous. To this day, the property is rumored to be haunted, perhaps by the spirits of Baumeister's victims, still searching for justice. paranormal investigators claim to have recorded eerie voices and ghostly apparitions near the woods, where the remains were found. Herb Baumeister's crimes shocked the nation and left a trail of unanswered questions. But one thing remains clear. Behind the mask of an ordinary man lurked a predator whose legacy is written in the bones buried at Fox Hollow Farm. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below to let me know what you think. Thank you for watching.